When it comes to relationships, most people immediately point the finger in the same direction. People cheat. Men are not fools. It's men who ruin relationships. But there is a truth. There is little open discussion about it. And that's the truth. Women are also deceived. And when a woman walks out of their relationship, so the psychological reasons behind it are often completely different from men. This is not a story about blaming anyone. This is not an attack on gender. It's an attempt to understand. Because sometimes a woman, who has everything, a husband, a stable life, the economic security, a family, and yet she's attracted to someone else. This is the uncomfortable truth, because it forces us to question our beliefs about relationships. If you really want to understand relationships, so you have to listen to this story, because the woman who cheats, she is not always a villain. Often she is working within such psychological patterns. He doesn't understand it at all. Let's start with a hard truth. A woman who truly loves her man, and I respect him, she doesn't cheat easily. But in many relationships, one thing is slowly disappearing: an emotional connection. At the beginning, everything is different. The man is paying attention. He praises her. He makes her happy with small things. But with time, everything becomes normal. The man is relieved. He thinks that it is enough to have a house, money, and be together. Slowly, the praise is over. Meditation is over. The little joys are over. I love you. It becomes a habit, not a feeling. And that's where the distance starts. Emotional attachment to a woman. It's not just one extra thing. She is the fuel of their relationship. If that fuel isn't constantly being filled, so the relationship does not run on the basis of memories. It cools down gradually. And when the heart is cold, so there's another person, it can be reheated. This is where the emotional abuse begins. Another reason for the deception. Sometimes it's not love. That's the pain. When a woman finds out that his friend has been unfaithful, so something inside it breaks. Some women end the relationship, but some choose a different path of change. It's not a relationship, and it's not attractive. It's an emotional reaction. You hurt me. Now I feel the same pain. But relationships change, often cause more damage, because that's where things start to change. Sometimes it turns into real emotions, and then things get even more complicated. Some of the stories are even more tragic. There are many women in such marriages, which they did not choose from the heart. The pressure of family, the community's expectations, or financial, bring them into such relationships, where his heart had never been. But the heart does not obey the command. He lives there, where it was previously connected. Years later, if the same person appears again, so the old feelings can be awakened again. Social media has made it easier. A message, a conversation, and the story comes alive again. At that moment in front of a woman. The most difficult question is, he saved that life? What has he done? Or choose to feel that way? What's always been true? Men and women, they often cheat for various reasons. For a lot of men, it is a matter of physical attraction. But women, the story is often emotional. She starts talking to someone. Then people will understand. And then he hears her. And slowly, it becomes an emotional connection. Physical intimacy often comes later. That's why women's affair, it can be more dangerous for the relationship, because it involves the heart. This is often a problem, that a woman loses her identity. She becomes someone's wife. She becomes someone's mother. But slowly, she'd forgotten who she was. When in Outsiders, I appreciate him. And then he suddenly remembered. You are still attractive. You are still important. And it's the same little belief. Sometimes it opens a big emotional door. In today's time, the world of relationships has changed. Social media, messaging, the online platform, all of these. Creating new relationships is easy. Now there's an emotional connection. It's just one message away. And that's why. That's emotional cheating today. It's more common than ever. Finally, one thing is clear. Betrayal is always an option, no matter how difficult the circumstances. But everyone has choices. To talk, improving relationships, or to be separated from honesty. But the deception, it's always the most destructive way. Because it doesn't just break two people. It destroys trust, breaking up the family, and many times, and the future of our children.